I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Summerfield, Florida, and welcome back to YouTube. I decided to go back to YouTube for a few reasons. As you may or may not have heard, YouTube or Facebook rather is changing how they keep their recordings on Facebook. The recordings only stay on there for 30 days now and then they're deleted. So I made the decision to go back to YouTube so I don't have to worry about uploading the recordings to YouTube. And I feel like the quality is better when I stream straight to YouTube. And more of you will be able to join me on YouTube because I realize not everybody is on Facebook. So I think we're going to keep the same time, but we're going to go back to YouTube. I used to do YouTube lives every Wednesday night. That just wasn't real convenient for my schedule with my family and everything. Especially when my son gets into bowling season, it gets very busy and he almost always has a game Wednesday evening. That's part of the reason I switched to Mondays around lunchtime, basically. So we're gonna stick with YouTube, I think. Like I said, the quality's better when I stream straight to YouTube rather than downloading the Facebook video and putting it back up, and then I don't have to worry about it disappearing or anything like that. So we're gonna stay on YouTube. Hi, Joan from Washington State. Thanks so much for joining us. If you're new here, I do go live every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And like I said, now we're on YouTube, so you'll be able to watch me. My sister, my baby sister, lives in Maryland. She and my nephew like to watch my YouTube videos on the TV and the big screen. So that's kind of a cool feature. If you prefer to watch me that way, you can see my face real big on your TV. When you join, please say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. I love hearing from you guys. Please feel free to chat amongst yourselves or make comments, ask questions as we're going through this tutorial. This is for you. I want you to be able to get answers to your questions. Hi, Jean from Arizona. We have a Joan from Washington. My mom from rainy South Carolina. I guess that's good because aren't you guys getting wildfires in South Carolina? So you can at least get some relief with the rain. So this weekend was a pretty big weekend for me, actually. I had a virtual bingo on Zoom, which was a lot of fun, and on Friday night, and then Saturday during the day, I had my in-person bingo, so that was really fun too. We had lots of fun, played lots of games, and there were prizes, and then we made cards using the mixed media florals. I meant to grab those real quick. Hold on, I'll show you guys. So they're simple cards, but they're really pretty. So this is one of the cards we made here with those mixed media florals. These are on the last chance list, so if you haven't gotten a pack of these, I highly recommend getting those. They're very pretty. Made pretty simple cards, but they're quick and easy to put together, and then you have them in your supply. This is actually a little sticker. This is one of the cards from the card pack, and then we use the DSP behind it. So lots of pretty cards. This is probably one of my favorites. This is a card from the card pack. We just trimmed it down, put some DSP behind it. And then the inside is another card from the card pack that I trimmed down, and then I added a little stamp sentiment. So they were quick and easy, but very, very pretty. I love that paper so much. So those are the little bingo cards that we made. So if I get enough interest, I may do another bingo at the end of August. So leave a comment below if you would be interested in either a virtual or in-person bingo. I'd love to hear from you guys. I always get people that ask and say, oh, when are you going to do bingo? When are you going to do bingo? And then I put it out there and sometimes it's like crickets. So I would love to know before I go to the effort of organizing it and all that, if you'd actually be interested in doing it. Zoom was a lot of fun. I use a free app on the computer. It's called letsplaybingo.io, and it's free to download. It calls the cards for you. You can set up different settings and stuff like that. It's really, really fun. And like I said, it's free. So I use it every time we play, and I just turn it on and it, shuffles everything, and it shows you the little whatever pattern you're using for bingo, you can set that up, and then it shows you like the last five numbers that were called, and it shows you just like on a traditional bingo board, like a full the 1 through 75, the numbers. It shows you which ones have been called. So it's really a lot of fun. Oh, Joan, you got to do it. It's so much fun. And I love that we can get on Zoom and do bingo together. I had one of my customers that was on. I love seeing you guys' faces. So obviously when I'm on here every week, I don't get to see you. You can see me, but I like getting on Zoom and actually seeing what you guys look like, because I always picture something in my head, but it's nice to actually see everybody and be able to talk to everybody. So it's really a lot of fun. So anyway, so if that's something you'd be interested in trying out, or if you've done it before and you want to do it again, let me know in the comments. And if I get enough interest, I'll try to schedule one for August sometime this year, okay? All right, so we're going to turn the camera around. I'm going to go over a couple things. Like I said, if you have questions about anything, please feel free to put them in the comments and let me know. And then we have a couple of really cool projects to do today as well. Okay, so let's get the camera turned around here. Let's see. So first and foremost, this morning I sent out an email to people on my newsletter list, on my email list. So if you haven't signed up for my email list, I highly encourage you to do that, because my email people get information sent right to their inbox so they don't miss anything. But I sent out an email this morning. I made these easy to read lists and posted them on my website, stampcampwithjen.com. They have pictures for the different categories. I know a lot of people have said, oh, it's so hard to keep track of everything. So all of the products that are still available that have been added since April 1st, I put them into different lists. So like stamps, dies, punch bundles, whatever. I have lists for everything. And then right below each section, the heading, there's a little pink sentence that says, click here for a printable list. So you can click on that and print them out if you want to as well. I know a lot of people like to print their lists out so they can kind of keep track of, maybe something that they're going to order, or something that they want to pull from their retired list or whatever. So make sure to head over and check that out. But I think the email is going out today at noon for those of you that are on my email list. So you'll get that sent straight to your email, straight to your inbox. Okay. And this is what they look like. So when you click on that printable list, it shows all the stuff that is in, like, this is the ribbon and embellishment section. So these are the ones that are retiring. If it's got a sale price, that's in red. And then it's got my contact information up here if you have questions, my email, my website, all that. So I thought would be a little bit easier to see it this way. So if you want to go, like I said, all that information's already at stampcampwithjen.com. You just head over there and you can see all this information. It's easier for me to look at it this way, so I thought it might be easier for you guys as well. Okay, and then my product shares are now available. So if you just go to stampcampwithjen.com/product shares, you can sign up for my product shares. I have paper, ribbon, and embellishments from the annual catalog and the May online exclusives. Now, I don't include all of the papers, like some of the specialty papers, I left them out of there. So make sure you go through it in detail before you decide if that's what you want. But I am offering a 6x6 and a 6x12 option for the paper and the deluxe shares this year. I've had a lot of people say that they really like that 6x12 option, so I added that back in this time around. So the deadline to sign up for this is, what did I say? April 28th, I think. And that's when the payment is, that's when I start sending the PayPal invoices out for payment. But the deadline is May 4th or 5th, I think, that I put, because the catalog starts May 6th. So I got to get all your payments and everything. But I can't, per Stampin' Up! Policy, I can't start collecting payment until about a week out. So that's why I have you just fill out a form to say that you're interested. And then when that date comes about a week out, I send you the PayPal invoice to pay. So will the paper share include the returning DSP? No, Jean, it's only the new papers. All the details are on this link here, so you can see exactly which papers I've included in there. But no, none of the returning papers. It's all just, I only put new papers in my product shares, okay? That's a good question, though. All right, and then if you've ever considered becoming a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, now's a good time to join. Stampin' Up! Demonstrators can earn this little cute strawberry slush craft tote in April. So if you join now, you'd have almost the whole month still to join this. And when you join as a bronze demonstrator, that's the first tier that you go into, you need $300 in sales your first month to earn this tote. And with your 20% discount, that's really only $240 that you're spending before tax and shipping. So it's a really good deal. This is a really cute tote. They showed it on stage. I am really excited. I'm really trying hard to earn it for my little craft goodies. I'd love to keep everything organized for Stamp Camp and stuff in there. I just love it. It's so pretty. This picture doesn't do it justice. It's a lot brighter and prettier in person. I think it looks like a little felt. I think the material is felt, but there's like a little insert that you can take out. It folds flat to store. It's really, really nice. So I would love to have you on the team. If you've ever thought about joining or you have questions, you can always reach out to me. I'd be happy to talk to you more about it. But I just wanted to share this with you in case it's something you've ever thought about. Now, something else that I want to chat with you about real quick is the Stampin' Rewards program from Stampin' Up. Stampin' Up is coming out with their own rewards program beginning April 15th. And this is like a little snapshot of what is included with that. So if you want to participate as a customer, you will need to opt in to be able to participate in this. If you're a demonstrator, demonstrators are automatically added to this new rewards program. So demonstrators don't have to worry about opting in or anything, but customers do have to opt in to participate. I highly recommend you create an online account at stampinup.com if you haven't already. You will need one to be able to opt in to the rewards program. That's what I said, opt in. And then to earn your rewards, all you have to do is place a $20 order or more before shipping and tax, and you will earn 10% rewards to redeem on a future order. You won't be able to redeem them on the same order. It's on a future order. But you will have a whole year to save up your rewards if you want to, or you can just use them every time you place an order. It's completely up to you, which is what this next section talks about, spending or saving. You can, save up for something big or just spend them whenever you shop. But keep in mind, rewards cannot be redeemed on a starter kit purchase. And the starter kit is what you get when you become a demonstrator. That's what they call the group of goodies that you pick as a starter kit. So you cannot use rewards on a starter kit purchase when you become a demonstrator. If you don't want to shop online, I can still place orders for you, but I will earn the rewards. You will not. So that's just something to keep in mind. Your redemption timeline, like I said before, you have a year to redeem your rewards. And it's actually pretty flexible because if you, let's say you earn a reward on an order you placed on June 10th. Well, you actually have until the end of June the following year to redeem it. So you'd have until June 30th of 2026 to earn it. So they give you a little bit more. So it's really the end of that month that you shopped. So again, if you place an order, June 10th, June 15th of 2025, you'd have until the end of June 2026, so June 30th, 2026 to redeem those. If you get a gifted reward from a demonstrator, you have 90 days to redeem those. So that's just something to keep in mind. But you'll have a big dashboard in your account that will explain when your rewards are expiring, and it's supposed to prompt you when you go to check out. You're supposed to get like a pop-up or something that says, hey, don't forget you have rewards. Do you want to use them on this order? So if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. That's just a basic overview of the Stampin' Rewards program that's coming out next week on April 15th. So I just wanted to kind of share that. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. I'm not an expert on this, but I have been reading up about it so that I can pretty confidently answer your questions. So this is the basic information. If there's additional questions you have, I can always do some research and get back to you if I don't know the answer for it, okay? So my customers that are getting their catalogs soon, I have catalogs in hand. I will be mailing them out soon. I will have a reminder for a link to go check that out. And in the description for this video, there's a link as well that you can click on and see that flyer that I just showed you. So all the stuff that I've been showing you, if you look in the description, you can see the links for my product shares, joining my team, the Stampin' Rewards, these Stampin' Blends labels that I have for sale on my website, and those last chance products. I don't think the link is for my blog. It's to actually shop the last chance products. But if you just go to stampcampwithjen.com, you'll see those easy to read lists I was talking about. Hi, Evelyn. Thanks so much for joining us. So I just wanted to share this again real quick. I created these Stampin' Blends labels that are for sale on my website. They include all of the current colors, including the retiring 2023 to 25 in colors and the new 25 to 27 in colors that are coming in, as well as the natural tones. So all you do for these are a one-time purchase. So once you purchase them, any future blends labels that I create, I will automatically email them to you. So you don't have to purchase any future labels. And for this, you just print it out on basic white cardstock. You cut along these little dotted lines. You will need a 3/8 inch circle punch to punch these out, and then you just take a little glue dot and glue them on the back of your marker, okay? So this is a really great organizational tool, and I do charge, it's a $5 charge because I almost went cross-eyed trying to put this together. So it is a lot of work, so I do charge for that. But it is well worth it to keep all your stuff organized, okay? All right, so let me show you today's project. This is so pretty. We're gonna make two. The first one is a little technique that I'm gonna share with you that I learned about online recently. So we're gonna make this card. I just think this is so gorgeous. This is like a chalkboard technique is what I'm calling it. I saw a video on, I think it was on Facebook, like a little reel by another demonstrator, Lisa Curcio. She shared this technique, and I just thought it was so cool. I taught this at my in-person classes last month, and they loved it. So what is happening right now? So we are going to make this card. I'm going to show you how to do this technique. What you're going to need is you're going to need a white craft ink pad and the re-inker that goes with it. So with this, when you get these come together. You can order these from the, oh no, this is not Secret Sea. Jean, that's a good question. No, this is black. Secret Sea does look very dark, but no, this is black that we're using to do this technique. So when you get this ink pad, if you go to the current catalog, the 24 to 25 annual catalog, and go to page 126, you'll see over here this white craft pad, and you can order it. The information's right there. The pad number, I believe, comes with this ink refill as well, because what happens is this is actually empty when you open it. There's no ink in here. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to take your white craft ink and put it all over that pad. Now, white craft ink is a lot thicker than regular ink. You can kind of see it looks like it's kind of gummy almost. It's really, really thick. So this is how I do it. And then I just take a plastic spoon. You can use a plastic spoon, an old gift card, old credit card, whatever. And then you just kind of smush it around on that ink pad. Try to get it pretty evenly coated. And if it looks like it's kind of empty in spots, you can, you know, add some more, which I will, because we want this pretty saturated. We want to have a good amount of ink on here so that we can make this technique really shine. We don't want it oversaturated though. That's the thing, is you gotta kind of play around with it to see, did I put too much, too little? But I feel like this white craft ink, because it's a little thicker, it's a little easier to control. Now you may notice if you do this technique a lot, it will kind of tear up your pad a little bit. So you just kind of have to be careful or be mindful of that. Is that it is kind of rough on your ink pad. So you may want to get one just for this technique if you plan on making a lot of these cards. Okay, so that's pretty saturated. Now, what I did was I took, let's see, my kit here. This Layered Florals 3D embossing folder is what I used here. Now, 3D folders are better than just the plain regular flat folders. I'll show you an example that I did. I used the butterfly folder, and it works okay, but because the pattern isn't raised as much as what you get on the 3D folder, the background has a tendency to pick up a lot of that ink. It's a little harder to just keep the ink on the raised edges. So I highly recommend using a 3D folder so you get that bigger, much more raised background for this, okay? So I went ahead and I already embossed this, as you can see. But what you do, I always tell people, you'll see on your embossing folders, it has this little line by the Stampin' Up! Logo. When I open my folder, I take my paper and use that line as a guide to line up that paper and make sure that whatever I'm embossing is going to be straight on my paper. So that line is a good indicator to make your paper straight before you emboss it, okay? But this folder, if you don't have this, this is on the last chance list. So I would recommend getting this soon if you don't have it yet, okay? All right, so all we need to do for this, and I should probably get a piece of scrap paper before we get started, because this is a little bit of a messy technique here. So I'm just gonna I have some scrap paper here. And what we wanna do is we just wanna take our ink pad. I like to use the edge of the pad, or you can kind of keep it flat, but I like to angle it a little bit. That's why that top edge is starting to tear a little bit, and gently kind of rub that over. And you can see, and you're gonna rotate as you go, and you can make it as dark or as light as you want. And just kind of keep rotating it and keep it, the flatter you keep it, the better chance you'll have of not making that white background. So kind of keep it flat. And then you can just keep going over it as much as you want. So I like that. Maybe put a little bit down here. But that's how we make that pretty chalkboard background. But yeah, keeping it flat will make it so that you don't, I was angling it a little bit too much there, and that's why I got more white on the back there. But isn't that so pretty? I just love that effect. I think it's gorgeous. And since it's pigment ink, it dries pretty fast. I mean, my hands are a little wet now, but you just want to set it aside for just a little bit and let it dry, because it doesn't dry as fast as our regular ink, but so it will need a few minutes. But while that's drying, we can go ahead and work on our words down here. So I used the Layers of Beauty stamp set right here. Yes, it is very beautiful, very easy, Joan. Absolutely. That's what I loved about it. I thought it was so cool. So we're going to use, you can use Grateful for You, Happy Anniversary. I just love this font so much. So I liked this Happy Anniversary, but we can use this Grateful for You. So let's do that one. So just to show another example of it. So I've got the Grateful for You here. Now, also on this same page in your annual catalog, that 126 from the current, not the new annual catalog, this embossing additions toolkit, there's the item number right here. I highly, highly, highly recommend getting one of these. Excuse me. I use this all the time. So it comes with this little tray, an embossing buddy, acrylic tweezers that you just push you push your fingers together and it opens the tweezers, and this little brush. I just love this so much, and I use this all the time. So I highly recommend it. I think it's like $27 for this kit. And what I do is after I use a specific color in this tray, and the end just screws right off for you to put the powder back in. But what I do is I rinse this out so that I'm using white embossing powder right now. I don't want that white to get in a different color. So I always rinse it out when I'm done using that specific color so that next time I use it, it's ready to go and I don't have to worry about accidentally mixing some little particles in with a different color. Evelyn says, I saw a German demonstrator do that technique using white paper and colored ink pads, so it works with other colors as well. Oh, good tip, Evelyn. I haven't tried it that way. It is a good idea to use up old ink pads. Yeah, because it does kind of damage your ink pads if you do it a lot. So using up old ones that you're going to get rid of anyway, that's a perfect tip. That's a good tip. Okay, so we're going to take, I have just some scrap white embossing powder, or some scrap black paper. I was thinking about what I need to use to emboss. So this is about 1 inch wide. Okay, and we always use our embossing buddy over our paper. That's an anti-static powder to keep any flyaways from any of our embossing powder. We don't want it to stick on anything except where we stamp with our Versamark ink pad, right? So I've got the Grateful for You on this one. And I'm just going to stamp right next to the right edge here. And you can kind of see where that is, right? So then we're going to take our Wow white embossing powder. Where did I put? Oh, right here. So this comes in a pack with clear, white, and black, I believe, the basics embossing powder. So we're using the white. And we're going to take our little strip and put it over our tray and then just kind of sprinkle this over where we stamped. And since we used our embossing buddy, it should only stick where we want it to. Now, sometimes you get a few little pieces that stick where you don't want them to, and that's fine. You can always take your little brush here and kind of like brush off the little flyaways. And if there's something kind of in the middle like mine has, you can always take an embossing, or not embossing, take your pick tool. Let me get mine real quick. And I like to take the little pointy end because it's real fine. And we can kind of, like I have a spot right here, I can just kind of lift that up and it's fine. And sometimes if it's just like a little speck here and there, sometimes you don't even have to do that because once you start setting it with the heat tool, the air from the heat tool will kind of get rid of those specks. So let's see, let's get our heat tool. Get this going. I'm sure you guys know how to do this already, but we got to do it for the project. Oh, and of course I don't have anything that's real close here. There we go. Now we're going to heat set that real quick. And you'll be able to see it get real glossy and bright when it starts melting together. You can kind of see it on the right there. It's starting to set. Perfect. And it's bright and glossy and we're good to go. Okay, now we'll take some scissors and we'll just kind of trim this down a little bit. And we can trim some of the top too. Now I'm going to do the one thing that's not my favorite. I'm going to try to make a banner on my own here. I have a retired banners pick-a-punch that I usually use, but I really should try to be better about that. So you just snip up the middle and then go end to the middle of where you cut up. And same here. Mine are always crooked, it feels like, so that's why I'm not a big fan of it. Oh, it's not too bad. Ta-da! I always feel like mine just look wonky, but that one's not bad actually. Okay, now we're going to use something else that you may not even realize we have, but we have black Stampin' Dimensionals. So we're going to get our card base first. I'm all over the place right now. We've got our black card base, and we're going to fold it in half. And we're going to take this embossed piece, and I recommend using liquid glue for this. You could use a tape runner, but the thing with tape runners, if you use it over an embossed area like this, is a lot of times the tape runner will grab sections that are raised up and it might tear your paper. So I always recommend using liquid glue and putting on, anytime you have an embossed piece, I use liquid glue to adhere it. All right, so we're gonna put this on. I just have a little bit of a border there. And then we're gonna pop this little banner up. I'm gonna line it up with that section that we used with the craft ink, and we're going to use our black dimensionals so nobody can see the dimensionals. So when we take that off, they're black. Isn't that crazy? I always forget to use these. I'm so used to using the white ones. So we're going to line that up, stick our black dimensionals on, and then we've got some basic gray and smoky slate pearls, which I thought really matched very nicely with this project. So we're going to take our the putty end here of our take your pick tool, and we're going to grab some of these pearls, and it doesn't really matter which ones. I think I used the basic gray ones before because they're a little brighter, but we'll use a mixture of whatever I have left at this point. So put some down here. Oh no, I used both. Because it's hard to see, but there's little top section up here, and then there's a middle section here. So the top section is the big, I think they're the smoky slate pearls. They're the lighter ones. And then the next section is the big of the basic gray. And then there's a small section of smoky slate and a small section of basic gray. So they're very close in color. It's really hard to tell just looking at it. So that's why it took me a second. So I've got the smoky slate pearls, the two small ones, and then a bigger one we're going to put right next to that sentiment, so it kind of draws your eye there. I just think it's so pretty. I love it. All right, so that is the basic chalkboard technique card that I wanted to share. And you can stamp and put a little liner on the inside. I'm not going to worry too much about that right now, but I usually leave mine pretty blank. I just put a piece of white on the inside, but you could zhuzh it up. Actually, I think there's a little flower. There's this little flower right here. Let's stamp that on the inside. I think that would be really pretty. Kind of matches the flower on the embossing folder, actually. So let's get some black. And then, actually, I think I'm going to put another sentiment from this stamp set in here because it has grateful for you. You could put God bless, or you make my heart smile. I think I'm going to use that. You make my heart smile. And we'll just put that on there. That'll be really nice. So we'll stamp the inside here, which I don't normally do. I'm trying to be better about that because I've had a lot of people say, I really like stamping the inside. Could you do that? Oh, thanks so much, Evelyn. I say, thanks so much, Technique. So we've got that little flower, and like I said, that matches the little flowers in the embossing folder. And then we're gonna do the You Make My Heart Smile. We're using just tuxedo black to kind of tie everything together. Just like that. Oh, and I stamped it a little crooked, but that's okay. I think that'll be so nice for the inside here. And I'm just using some Stampin' Seal Plus. And we'll put that on the inside. Very pretty. Very nice. Okay, so that's our card for today. Now for our treat box. I have a quick and easy treat box that we actually used. I gave, for my in-person bingo, I usually give them a little goodie box. I don't do it for my virtual ones because I'm always worried about mailing, like, I almost always have candy in it or something, and I'm always worried that it's going to get all messed up. So I don't mail those to my virtual bingo people. So what we're going to make now is we're going to make these little cherry blossom treat boxes from the Cherry Blossom Treat Boxes kit. So these are so cute. These come in a little kit box, a little Stampin' Up! Kit box here. And you get 12 treat boxes in a kit. And it comes with, it shows you the little instructions. If you've never gotten a kit before, this is what they look like. They're just kind of printed out. They kind of show you pictures of how to put them together. And then you have the little, this little printout that shows you, because this comes in English, French, and German, it looks like. So this is what the English one looks like. And it's a very sweet kit for springtime. Now, when I went to put these together initially, I was like, where are my little adhesive strips? And I didn't realize they're in with the little stamp block that comes with the kit. So you'll need these little adhesives. It comes with a early espresso ink spot. Now I usually just use whatever the ink spot is in the full size one. So I'm just going to grab that out of my stash, and then that way I can gift these or something if I want to. It comes with some twine. Again, this is a stamp set. And then the little treat boxes are already all cut out for you. And then you get a little thing of dimensionals and a little die cut sheet. So you're going to need to die cut or to punch out one of these tag die cuts and then one of these little flowers here. Okay. And I'm going to show you how to put this together. These I would recommend if you're placing an order soon, getting some of these, especially if you're having like a little Easter get together and you want like a little table favor to give somebody. These measure, where did my tape measure go? So these measure, they're 2 inches wide and about 2 inches. So it's a 2-inch box, wide, tall, everything. So, and then it's got that little cherry blossom flower that holds everything together. And it fits quite a bit. I have little Hershey Kisses in here. It holds quite a bit of candy. It is a very pretty kit. So let me get early espresso. I'm gonna get my Stampin' Scrub to clean everything off. I love the way Stampin' Mist smells. I've gone back and forth over the years between using a Simply Chamois, a Stampin' Scrub, but I always go back to the Stampin' Scrub because I really like the way the cleaner smells. I'm all about the smells. If it smells good, I'm happy. So let's see if I can put this back here. We're gonna clean this off. And these little pads come out. You can clean those like in, I think I've heard some people say they clean them in their washing machine. I've never tried that. I just clean them with Dawn soap under hot water and let them sit and dry, but there's different ways you can do it. Okay, so we've got our early espresso pad here, and let's get our instructions. All right. So we're just gonna do, it shows you exactly what you need to punch out, what stamps you need to use, all that, which is really nice. So I just wanted to show you this because I know some people may not have seen the kits before and never used them, but these are great. I love these, especially with kids or beginner and stampers. These are really good. So yes, they are kind of IKEA instructions. There's no written instructions. It's just pictures. That's a good comparison, Mom. All right, so we're gonna get the bigger flower here. And we're gonna stamp that on this flower. Right, like that. Not bad. And then, what's next? And then we get our little branch. Now, I was telling everybody, when I put the boxes together, you'll see it took me quite a bit to figure it out. I looked up, because Stampin' Up, they have a video. Man, what block do I need for this? Oh, I guess I could use the block that's included. Duh. This block. Oh, that's not even, that's weird. So they have this long branch. It just barely fits on this block that they include though. I will say these are not my favorite blocks because they have a hard edge on the top and the bottom, and they're not as thick as our regular blocks. So I usually don't use them, but they do include it so that you have it. But I prefer using the Stampin' Up! Blocks if I can. All right, so it says, so you want this little branch to come right behind that little circle. Like that, I think. I think that's a little off, but close. It gets covered up by a lot of other stuff anyway, so. And then, oops. All right, and then we need to stamp our little flower that's in here. I'm gonna go back to my regular blocks. I'm not a big fan of those. They work in a pinch because they're quick and easy if you need something, but they're not my favorite. They hurt my hands, to be honest. All right, and then this little flower. Oh, diagonally. Oh, Evelyn, you are so smart. My brain obviously doesn't work that way. Evelyn said, couldn't you use the stamp diagonally on the block? Well, yes, you could. Look at that. Okay, well, as you can tell, my brain doesn't work that way. I'm like, oh, it has to be on there straight. Yes, Evelyn, good point. You are correct, because I'm like, oh, it barely fits on there. And I guess that would work the same with this block because these are almost the same size. Yep. Oh, goodness. Yeah, these are this is the same size as a D block. So, oh my goodness. All right, well, yes, Evelyn, you are correct. My brain just, I'm telling you, I don't know what my deal was, but I struggled with this kit for some reason. They are very user-friendly, but for me, I just had a heck of a time with some of them. All right, so this is going to be stamped over that little circle orb right there. You'll see when I put the box together, I literally had to have my, because I looked up, there's a paper pumpkin video where they show you how to put it together. Sarah Douglas, the CEO of Stampin' Up, shows you how to put this kit together. I watched this video like 5 times trying to figure out how to put the bottom of this box together, and I'll show you. And then I asked my husband if he could figure out how to do it, which he did. And then I even had to go back to him a second time and say, show me this again. I don't know. My brain just would not accept it. Now, there's a bunch of different sentiments. You could do thank you, best wishes, sweet baby, or for you. I used thank you since I did it for my bingo, but let's do for you this time. There's lots of different things you can do. So we're just going to stamp that right at the bottom here. And it's all in early espresso, like I said before. All right, and I think that's all the stamping we do. Oh, my little sprinkles here, whatever you call them. We're gonna stamp those. I skipped that one. So we're gonna stamp this right below the little tag there. There we go. Now we're done. All right. Okay, let me put that back in the kit. We can close up our ink so we don't accidentally get it all over the place. It's on my fingers, but that's okay. And then we're gonna put a little dimensional on the back of, on the back of, well, I guess I'm using that dimensional. On the back of the flower. You put one of the little dimensionals on there. You don't remember having a hard time putting these together, Mom? Well, I did. And I definitely had my coffee for the day too, because sometimes that has an effect. And I've had my coffee today too, but I don't know. You want to fold all of these little score lines here and here and here. I've kind of done that already. But you fold all your score lines, and then on this, there's a little tab right here. We're going to take one of these strips. And I really like when Stampin' Up! Has adhesive included because they use this nice strong 3M adhesive, and it's really, really nice. When they had, I think it was the Tombstone treat boxes that you could order a couple years ago, those were my favorite because they were so nicely made and well put together, and they had the adhesive strips already on them. So I loved those. Those are my favorite. I love whenever they have treat boxes with adhesive already on them. So we're gonna flip this over so the white side is up, the pattern's on the back. We're gonna flip that tab that's over here on the left over. And then when we take the adhesive off, we're just gonna fold it in half and close it on top of that adhesive, okay? So I'm just gonna use my little pointy end of my Take Your Pick tool and then fold that over so we can stick that box together. So that's the basic box there. Now, this is this is the part, and you guys are probably going to be like, duh, it's so easy. But for me, I don't know why I cannot figure this out. So this part right here where there's like a little opening, you're going to fold that down. And then these little points, you're going to tuck those in like that. Okay. I don't know why I could not understand that those needed to be tucked in. I kept trying to put them over the top and then put this down some way, but that just was not making sense to me. That all you have to do is take these little points and tuck those under that little opening right there. Okay, you just do that. And then this piece gets tucked on top of those, but underneath this opening here. So you're going over where those little points tucked in, the left and the right flaps, and then you're tucking it under that piece there. So like I said, that little bit, and then you can put your fingers on the inside to kind of help it through. But for whatever reason, my brain did not understand that. I really couldn't do it. I was like struggling so hard with that. Okay, and then you fill it with your candy. Like I said, I have a bunch of Hershey Kisses, but with Easter, you could put jelly beans, you could put Jolly Ranchers, all kinds of little candies will fit in here. And then you just fold these little pieces in, and the cherry blossoms have a little opening right here. So you just put those together, line those up, and you just slide those little cut pieces together to close the box. Oops, and you got to make sure you get those sides underneath it or it's not going to work. Okay, so these go in and then you got to put those together like that. And they will slide together and close to make your cherry blossom. Isn't that so pretty? Oh, I love it. Okay. So hopefully by showing you that, it's a little easier for you. I really struggled with that. So it's probably silly. Evelyn, my mom says, ta-da. And Evelyn says, you did it. You guys are such nice cheerleaders. I really appreciate that. Because in here, it doesn't really show you what to do with the bottom either. So that's why I tried to figure it. But my husband was looking at me like, are you okay? I said, I just can't figure it out. All right, so then we need, it says 12 inches of twine. And for this, you're just going to thread it through your tag. And then, yeah, they're usually easy to put together, Joan, but not for me. This one was not. So we're just going to thread it through, and then you're going to loop your twine around your little treat box, your cherry blossom at the top here. We're going to tie like a basic, not a knot, but just tie a loop around here. So just tie that taut, and then you'll just make a little bow. And then just tell people, I mean, I'm sure they can figure it out, but they just need to untie that bow. And then you can kind of twist it around wherever you need it placed. But that's the basics, okay? I hope you enjoyed this crazy journey putting these together. You guys will probably have no problem, but like I said, I don't put a lot of these kits together. I don't know, I guess my brain is just more built towards making my own treat boxes. So having to put together a pre-assembled treat box is not, I guess, not easy for me. Oh my goodness. All right, so let's go back here. I'm going to flip this back to me. Here we are. Okay. So does anybody have any questions about anything? I hope you enjoyed today's projects. Definitely let me know which ones you prefer. Did you like the technique? Did you like the box? Did you like both? And then, as I said, the links in the description below, there are links to the stuff that we talked about at the beginning of the video, the product shares, the Stampin' Rewards program that's coming out next week. If you want to join my team and earn that pretty craft tote, you can do that. My Stampin' Blends labels that are also available. I just thought this was, I like to learn new techniques and stuff, so I just thought this was really fun. And like I said, really easy. And like Evelyn said, try it on white paper with colored ink pads. That would be a cool technique. So I really like that idea, Evelyn. I should try that. I tried doing colored ink pads on colored cardstock, but not colored ink pads on white cardstock. So I'll have to check that out. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me this week. I hope wherever you are, you're enjoying some nice weather. Hopefully it's starting to warm up in your neck of the woods. I actually went out in the pool for the first time last weekend. So it's starting to warm up down here. We're getting almost to the 90s here in Central Florida. So what else did I have? Yeah, like I said, if you have any questions about anything, please reach out to me. Don't forget to sign up for my product shares. And thank you so much for joining me live. I hope now, I think I'm going to stick with the YouTube streaming. So start looking for me on YouTube on Mondays. But if you sign up for my email list, you'll get a reminder Monday morning with the link going straight to the video. So if you'd like that, definitely sign up for my email list so that you can get that sent to your inbox, okay? All right. Oh, and don't forget to check out those picture last chance product lists at stampcampwithjen.com. Those will make it a lot easier for you to see what's going away and maybe get an order in before, because there's a lot of stuff on the last chance products list. Okay, guys. All right. Well, again, don't forget to give me a little thumbs up and a heart, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And then if you hit the bell, you'll get a notification whenever there's a new video. And my replay watchers, don't forget to comment as well. I would love to know what you think about today's video. And if you have any questions, please let me know. You can always put those in the comments. I'm usually pretty good about responding to the comments pretty quickly. So, all right, guys, well, have a great week. And I will be back again next week with another fun project, okay? Be safe and happy stamping. Bye-bye.